A deadly Muslim terror attack, only this time in an affluent South Florida neighborhood. Muslim terrorists can strike anywhere. We've seen them kill in Washington, D.C., New York City, Madrid, London, Paris, Nice. The list goes on and on. And this time, they killed again. Only in a wealthy area of Palm Beach County, Florida, called Palm Beach Gardens. Beautiful area, actually. I have many friends there. It's only about 45 minutes north of where I live. This one really, really strikes at the heart of the narrative that Islam is a religion of peace, because this time, the deadly Muslim terrorist was a 17-year-old named Corey Johnson. Now, Corey Johnson went to sleep over at the home of his friend Kyle Bancroft. They lived again in this very wealthy area in Palm Beach called Palm Beach Gardens, in a gated community. Not the kind of place you'd expect this to happen. And one of the kids there, a kid named Giovanni Sierra, 13 years old, child, a baby, made a comment that celebrities were gods. A little teenager, just impressed with celebrity. Every kid was at that age. Every kid is at that age. Well, Corey Johnson, this 17-year-old near-adult Muslim, took offense to that and decided to go on a killing rampage because he found that an affront to Islam. Now, his friend Kyle Bancroft's 13-year-old brother, Dane, was also injured in this, as was Kyle's mom, a woman named Elaine Simon, a prominent attorney, an attorney who had been on the covers of legal magazines, South Florida legal magazines. Again, this was an affluent area. This is a very safe community. Crimes like this don't happen. And this crime wouldn't have happened, this terror attack wouldn't have happened, but not for Islam. Now, this kid, Corey Johnson, according to a story here in the Palm Beach Post, watched radical videos. Let me read you an excerpt from this story. Dane, Corey Johnson, the murdering terrorist friend, Kyle's younger brother, 13-year-old Dane, reportedly had made fun of Johnson's Islamic faith. According to the police report, Giovanni Sierra, 13-year-old, such an adorable, handsome little boy, was slaughtered, murdered. 13 years old, murdered for no reason because of the sick, twisted ideology that is Islam. Giovanni Sierra, who turned 13 on Monday, referred to celebrities as gods. That upset Corey Johnson because it is contrary to the Islamic faith to idolize others as a god. Johnson and Kyle Bancroft, the kid whose house he was sleeping over at, watched violent jihadist videos Sunday night. Johnson then stabbed Giovanni Sierra and slit his throat, a 13-year-old child, with a knife he had brought to the house. Now, this radical Muslim terrorist, Corey Johnson, this savage from a savage faith, had read the Quran. The story says he had read the Quran before going to the house, and he turned to the Muslim holy book to, quote, give him courage to carry out his intentions. Again, that strikes at the heart of the narrative that Islam is a religion of peace. This story bothers me for so many reasons. First and foremost, we have a murdered 13-year-old. We have a severely injured 13-year-old. And we have a woman who appears to be nothing more than a good mom and a successful attorney injured in this Muslim terror attack as well. I don't see CARE out there condemning this. I don't see Muslim groups condemning this. Now, the Palm Beach Post did its obligatory defense of Islam by saying, American Islamic leaders have repeatedly condemned expressions of their faith, the second largest in the world after Christianity, that involve violence and terrorism, especially since the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Well, actually, that's not true. A very, very small portion of American Muslims who consider themselves moderate Muslims, and some others around the world, but again, minutia in the grand scheme of the 1.7 billion Muslims in the world, have condemned violence. And many of those, there's been a but. A but. We see why we condemn it, but we understand it. And if you understand Islam, you understand that sometimes jihad is necessary. So I don't like this narrative that Muslims, by and large, condemn terror, because they don't. And if you don't think it's a sick and twisted ideology, ask yourself, what other ideology would be the catalyst for a 17-year-old slicing the throat of a 13-year-old because of an innocuous comment the 13-year-old made about celebrities? This is such a disturbing story, an incredibly troubling story. I don't even know where to begin. Where do we begin in a country where 17-year-old kids who are Muslim are so motivated by radical Islamic videos of ISIS slicing the throats of innocent hostages, that they go to their friend's home and they try to slaughter the entire family for the comment of a 13-year-old? What kind of sick-twisted ideology is Islam, if that's what it facilitates? Everybody's worried about guns, guns, guns. I think we need to worry about some other things in this nation. Had there been a gun in this home, maybe this savage would have been able to be stopped. He was the only one armed. But that's a debate for another day. Now, the update on the victims, sadly, Giovanni Sierra, little boy, heartbreaking to report this, was murdered. The woman, the mom, Elaine Simon, appears to be in good condition, and they can't comment on the condition of her son Dane, also 13, because he's a minor. But this story really highlights a much bigger problem with Islam in America. And I'm going to go much deeper into that on my longer show, my 1-hour-long show, Off the Cuff Declassified today, right here on The Rebel. If you like this content, sometimes it's disturbing, but it's very important. Let me bring it to you every day. Please subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very, very much. Don't forget to go to firescottisrael.com and sign our petition so we can have Muslim sympathetic, radical Muslim sympathetic, Broward County, Florida Sheriff Scott Israel removed by Florida Governor Rick Scott. Also, go to your app store, download the Rebel app. Great way to get all of our content if you've done any of those things, and I hope you've done all of those things. I want to thank you very, very much. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.